Well, the Labour Party has suspended Abia State Governor Alex Otti, along with 5 other top members, including Senator Ireti Kingibe, Senator Darlington Nwokocha, Honorable Victor Ogene, Honorable Amobi Oga, and Honorable Sheyi Shoumi. The suspensions were announced by the party's National Working Committee, led by the National Secretary Umar Farouk Ibrahim, citing alleged anti-party activities. Now, the Abia State Government has dismissed the suspension as a joke taken too far and an attempt by former Labour Party Chairman Julius Abure to advocate his self-serving agenda. They called on the Inspector General of Police to arrest Abure for impersonation.
The disciplinary committee has concluded their assignments and has submitted their reports to the party leadership. The National Executive of the party met today, May 7th, 2025, and after exhaustive deliberation, in line with powers donated to it by the party constitution, has ratified the recommendation as submitted by the disciplinary committee. Consequent upon that, the following members of the party have been suspended from the party and all its activities indefinitely and with immediate effect. Number 1, Dr. Alex Otti. 2, Senator Ireti Kingibe. 3, Senator Darlington Nwokocha. 4, Honorable Victor Ogene. 5, Honorable Amobi Oga. 6, Honorable Sheyi Shoumi. By this suspension, these former members of the party will no longer act on behalf of the party. All concerned institutions, including the Nigerian Governors Forum, the National Assembly, INEC, and the security agencies, amongst others, are to take note.
In line with due process and the party constitution, NEC gives Mr. Abure 48 hours notice to show why disciplinary actions should not be taken against him for his numerous acts of gross misconduct against the party. The formal notice of disciplinary action will be sent to the last known address of Mr. Julius Abure. Mr. Abure is hereby warned to desist from parading himself as the national chairman of the Labour Party or impersonating the office in any form. The apex court of the land has clearly and finally nullified his claim to leadership, and his tenure has long expired by the passage of time. His continuing acts of reckless denigration of party leadership and open war against the party is unwarranted. Rather than drag the image of the party further into disrepute, Mr. Abure is advised to deploy his time and attention to addressing the numerous allegations of corruption, forgery, perjury, and criminal conspiracies pending against him.
Well, to discuss this, I'm joined by Ferdinand Ekeoma, as the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to Governor Alex Otti. He joins virtually from Abia State. I also have Marcel Ngogbehei, as the Director General of the Directorate of Mobilisation and Integration for the Labour Party. He joins from London, in the UK. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Let me start with great. Let me start with you, Mr. Ferdinand. You, of course, represent the governor. A lot is happening within the Labour Party. According to the faction of Julius Abure, the governor, amongst a couple of other top-ranking officials within the party, have been suspended. Even though your principal has described this as a joke taken too far, and is actually even calling for the arrest of Chief Julius Abure. How do you react to this suspension?
Thank you once again. As you rightly pointed out there, His Excellency, the Governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Otti OFR, had already described the purported suspension as a joke taken too far. And of course, Governor Otti's position is not different from those of the other eminent Nigerians who have carefully followed the activities of Abure and his, we call them gang of comedians, because you could see that they are not interested in advancing the cause of the party positively. They are just out there to pursue their selfish agenda. So we consider the action a huge joke, and we do not think that anybody should attach any atom of importance or any regard to what they just did.
All right, Mr. Ferdinand, if I got you correctly, you referred to them as a gang of comedians who are actually out there to pursue their personal interest as against the interest of the party. I think I'd like to bring in Marcel into this conversation right now. Marcel, I mean, you are a member of the Labour Party. How do you react?
One of the reasons why rational minds, people that have integrity, people that want to operate in a sane environment does not get involved in politics is because of just what you're saying. You know, some people are so shameless, as in you begin to wonder if this is actually happening. I'm in the UK here. There's some things you don't, it can't even come to your psyche. Nobody thinks about it. So the governor, fine, I've heard a lot of good things about him. He's doing well, but he dabbled into party politics, which is not his jurisdictions. And that is bringing a lot of dirty, a dirty clout on his lining. And let's be clear, we should build institutions. I have always maintained that the law is a law. The law is not a respecter of anybody, okay? So the Labour Party has law, and the Supreme Court has come back to say, respect your constitutions. So I want to know what constitutional provisions give Otti the power to dissolve and appoint. It's pure madness. I mean,
But do you also think, sorry to interrupt you, Marcel, do you also think it's within the right of Umar and even Julius Abure to suspend Governor Alex Otti and other top officials? I mean, I know that you are the DG Directorate of Mobilisation and Integration for the Labour Party. But looking at the recent judgment, from the Supreme Court, is it within their powers, their purview to still, brand themselves as officials of the party and suspend some members of the party?
Okay, see, let us get it clear. As the DG of Directorate of Mobilization, I work for the party. I don't work for individuals. So I believe in institutions. So whether Abure is there, Abure is not there, the directorate will remain, and it doesn't matter whether it's me or any other person. But the law remains the law. There was a convention that was held in Nnewi. Alex Otti himself sent his deputy to pretend over this convention. And the convention met all the laws, all the rules within the party constitution. And some people were elected, not just Abure. The entire national working leadership of the party was elected. And they have a known term for 4 years. That is still in place. The Supreme Court simply told them to go in and sort yourself out. Now, my question is, did they approach the Supreme Court to remove Abure? If they did, the Supreme Court would have made a categorical pronouncement to say, by this, Abure is hereby removed. That would have been categorical. There won't be nobody could have put it into interpretations. Did they approach the Supreme Court to declare Nenadi as the national chairman? If that was the case, the Supreme Court would have said Nenadi is hereby declared as the national chairman of Labour Party. None of that happened. They went through the corner to challenge the jurisdiction of a court, whether a court can interfere in party matters. And the Supreme Court simply said the courts cannot interfere in party matters. What does that do? That brings us to status quo. That convention that was held, was there a convention that brought Nenadi? No. Somebody just sat in his office and then appointed his close pals and said they are going to be national chairman. Where does that happen? I mean, at times there's some things that happen in Nigeria, you begin to wonder if we're normal. As in, you begin to wonder, in a same society, could those people actually be in existence? And that is what is happening in Nigeria. It's so shameful when we stay in abroad here and see how systems work, how organizations work, how people respect laws. And then you come to Nigeria, you see a set of rascals.
Marcel, I might just need to come in here. Marcel, I might need to come in here.
Totally out of his power. Totally out of his power. You can't even begin to imagine it. It's crazy.
Marcel, I might just need to come in here because we need to go on a quick break. When we return, of course, I'll be switching the gears to Ferdinand to respond to some of these issues. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Of course, it's still Politics HQ on News Central Television, and we're looking at issues within the Labour Party. Where, of course, there were developments yesterday where a faction of the party did suspend some key notable individuals within the party. I still have my guest with me, Ferdinand Ekeoma, as the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to Governor Alex Otti. Joins virtually from Abia State, and Marcel Ngogbehei is the Director General of the Directorate of Mobilization and Integration for the Labour Party. Marcel, I might still just have to stay with you for now. Quickly, the question, on the lips of many Nigerians who are observing all of this unfold is, can the Labour Party actually survive outside these individuals? I'll take your response. I understand that we have Ferdinand back. Please hold on to that. Let me go to Ferdinand on this one. Ferdinand, I believe you had some of the things Marcel did say, and I asked him a very direct question. Is it still within the powers of the person of Julius Abure and even Omar to say, you know what, we are suspending the governor, we are suspending Senator Ireti Kingibe and quite a number of others, given the Supreme Court judgment, which of course seems to be the core of these issues now?
Thank you once again. It's interesting that your guest there, whom you addressed as the Director of Mobilization, viewed this issue from same mindset with which Abure and his allies have been operating. He thinks that it's about Alex Otti and Abure. That's ridiculous. We have a constitution. The tenure of Julius Abure expired in 2023. He sought an extension, and the leaders of the party, gathered and graciously granted him that extension. And this is with the knowledge of INEC. And it expired. I gave him 1 year extension, and it's like a consent judgment, and there is a document to prove what I'm telling you. Governor Alex Otti, it has to be stated, has no interest in whoever becomes the national chairman of the party. And he had said it repeatedly, even after the inauguration of the Caretaker committee. He has no personal problem, has no problem of any kind. And even praised Abure. He said it. But when it was brought to his attention, the document that was signed, which was like a consent judgment, which Abure signed himself, he invited Abure, spoke to him, said, I have this. INEC, has this. And it has been brought to my attention that the tenure has expired. You signed this agreement. He dismissed it. Of course, he went ahead to attend the meeting of INEC where he was walked out of the place. His tenure expired. And every other action he took amounted to illegality. That is the issue.
Okay, and talking about INEC, Ferdinand.
Abure, don't forget, that Abure went to court. Okay? He celebrated when he got the judgment that recognized him as the national chairman. What did the Supreme Court do? What did the Caretaker committee do at the Supreme Court? Challenging his leadership, the authenticity of his leadership. And of course, the appeal filed by the distinguished Senator Nenadi, Usman-led Caretaker, the appeal was upheld. And Abure was being recognized. But the fact that you celebrated the judgment given to you by a lower court, and even on INEC portal, it was said a court judgment. You are national chairman by a court judgment. And the Supreme Court nullified that judgment that brought you. So on what basis are you still parading yourself as the national chairman? If Supreme Court went ahead to talk about the issues being internal party affair, take away the fact that that authenticity you enjoyed courtesy of this lower court judgment has been rendered useless.
Okay, because
So
I'm sorry, I need to interrupt you because you kept mentioning INEC. You kept mentioning INEC.
The convention he claimed for
you kept mentioning INEC.
Where did he do what Congress?
Mr. Ferdinand, please listen.
Where did he do local government congresses? Where did he do state congresses? It's ridiculous. So we are not competing with Abure. There is nothing, to lose. Even if we walk out of Labour Party today, we're not interested in this news that we are not competing. Abure and Alex Otti are not on the same level for Christ's sake. He can abuse and say whatever he has. From the day that Caretaker committee was inaugurated, he started abusing the government. He said all kinds of things. We ignored him. And he is now frustrated and he's throwing up tantrums, because he was literally reminded that amounts to, a masturbation, because you think you're doing anything real. You think you are pursuing anything, and that is what it is. You're just wasting your time. You're not doing anything.
Okay.
The Supreme Court has said it, and it's very clear. So it's only in this crime, because somebody is talking about who's in Nigeria, you're talking about certain crime. And here, you're defending irresponsibility, you're defending impunity. What do people do the mobilization for? The truth is that Abure, and like we say, and his gang of commanders are not interested in advancing the cause of Labour Party. They are not interested in winning the election.
All right. Just to set the record straight as regards INEC. Before we came on, INEC actually did
what was their performance?
Okay.
That's the question.
Okay. Just to set the record straight as regards INEC in all of this, at about 6:34 p.m. today, INEC did put out a statement, on its X handle with the caption, INEC yet to make a decision on disagreements in the Labour Party. And it goes on to say, our attention has been drawn to some media reports claiming that the Commission has recognized certain persons as the chairman and national secretary of the Labour Party. The reports are inferred that the Commission has restored a particular individual as the national secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, referring to listings on the Commission's official website. However, the reports are false and misleading. The Commission has not made any decision in respect of either the LP or the PDP. The names of the national officers of the LP had previously been uploaded to our website following a court order, not related in any way to the latest judgment of the Supreme Court. In the same manner, the name of the National Secretary of the PDP on the same website was neither deleted nor reinstated, and it goes on. So just to put some clarity to that, even though if you check the website, which I did, the national chairman of the Labour Party still has it, Barrister Julius Abure, but with a caption, by court order. The same thing with the national secretary. So maybe I should bring in, of course, Marcel to this, to respond, if at all, to what we are seeing now.
Yeah, let us stop lying and let us get it clear. When the New Convention was conducted, INEC was supposed to come in and observe that convention, but INEC did not come in. So by virtue of INEC not coming in, INEC says they cannot report on that convention, right? And INEC refused to recognize the outcome of that convention. But within the law, there is no time the law says that if INEC does not attend the convention, that the convention is null and void. If that is in the law, then INEC can choose who becomes the leadership of any party by simply attending or not attending. So the law was very clear. Whether INEC attends or not, whatever is the outcome, it stands. The only thing that they need to do is they need to make sure that INEC is notified within the constitutional time frame. And there is a court judgment that says, INEC, you were duly notified, so you do not have any reason to say you cannot recognize this. And that court judgment forced INEC to recognize his Barrister Julius Abure. Now, that court judgment was not appealed. And if you look at what INEC just wrote, INEC said by a court judgment that is not even related to the Supreme Court. So that's a different court judgment entirely. And INEC was actually right. That court judgment was not appealed. It was not, INEC did not appeal it, and it was not related to the court judgment that the Supreme Court was referring to. These guys, they keep on mumbling things, mumbling a lot of things just to, make their own case.
Marcel, let me just ask you a direct question. I did ask you, and I would just want an answer in maybe 30 seconds. Yes, that there are issues, but do you think that the Labour Party can survive as a strong opposition outside the involvement of these individuals that have been listed as suspended by a faction?
I'm just
asking.
Labour Party
because it's
would
politics.
100%. Can I speak, please? Labour Party would 100% survive. And let's make it clear. It is people like us. I was the leader of the obedient movement in 2022 when we went to the streets and began to mobilize Nigerians to support His Excellency Peter Obi. Nobody knew about Labour Party. We supported him, but then when we got into Labour Party, we saw the troubles, but we sat down and we helped them to build it. And majority of obedience now are in Labour Party. There are some that are not in Labour Party. You give it to them, they have the right not to be, right? But some of us are in Labour Party, and we will build Labour Party. We will come strong on it. We will mobilize people on the ground. Labour Party will stand. So I'm not working for personalities. I'm working for an institutions. And it's high time we Nigerians begin to build institutions that supersede personality, because that's the problem we have in Nigeria, where we believe one person can make decisions or one person can override whatever everybody does. The law is the law. The law should not be respected of anybody. So I can 100% tell you that in elections, the Labour Party will come strong. We will go to the city, we will go to the ground, and we have made it clear that the only two things Labour Party needs to do to be able to win elections are simple. They need to put forward a candidate that will relate to Nigerian problems, and they need to put forward a candidate that has the capability to be able to prosecute elections and defend the results.
Okay, now talking about...
Once we have these three things in place, Labour Party will stand tall, and we're going for 2027 a very strong outing.
All right, now talking about Peter Obi and the Labour Party, let's listen to what the Senate President did say as regards what's going on within the party just recently.
And yet, when somebody makes a statement that the labors of our heroes pass, I in vain, I beg to disagree. Let our brother Peter Obi show leadership like Edwin Clark did by resolving first the crisis in the Labour Party. For a man who wants to run Nigeria, you have one of the smallest parties in Nigeria, and you cannot even resolve the crisis in that Labour Party. Is it the crisis of Boko Haram that you will come and resolve in Nigeria? I would like us to be known for what we did when we had the opportunities.
Well, the Senate President there, Godswill Akpabio, did ask a question, throwing it directly to, His Excellency Peter Obi, saying that if you can't resolve the crisis within the Labour Party, is it the crisis within the country like the Boko Haram, you have the capacity to resolve? So I'll just stay with you, Marcel, 30 seconds. Your reaction to what the Senate President did say in lieu of the crisis within your party.
I will simply tell you there's no crisis within Labour Party. So Akpabio is just playing to the gallery. So there's no any crisis for His Excellency Peter Obi to resolve. His Excellency Peter Obi has allowed the Labour Party, all participants, to go to the court. They obey the laws, and they've come out of the court, and we're moving on. So maybe Akpabio was expecting the kind of thing they do in their own party, where one person would just rule and decide. No. It is a collective thing. So if he's expecting Peter Obi to be an emperor in Labour Party, it's not going to happen. We don't have emperors in Labour Party. In Labour Party, all members are equal. All members, ideas are respected. So, I don't see any crisis, and Peter Obi is in Labour Party and he's doing his own best to get all the factions together to work together. All
right. I'll come back to you, Ferdinand, after the break. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on New Central Television, and of course I still have my guests with me. Ferdinand Ekeoma is the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to Governor Alex Otti, and Marcel Ngogbehei is the Director General for the Directorate of Mobilisation and Integration for the Labour Party. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with me. Ferdinand, quickly, let me just come to you before we wrap up. Do you suspect foul play? And by that, I mean the speculations and talks that maybe, a certain party might be planting moles across to destabilize the opposition parties, such that at the end of the day, the perception of drifting into a one-party state as a country, happens. Do you think that may be the case? Do you think that there are moves sponsored to destabilize the party?
Of course, it's very obvious because funny things are unfolding. If you mean well for your party, my brother there was talking about INEC not supervising not observing the so-called convention. And it's obvious he doesn't have information about a lot of things that transpired. In the first place, the first venue that was given to INEC was Abia. INEC sent people down to Abia. They later now moved to mention the Asaba. INEC now changed to Asaba. They moved away from Asaba to New, where they finally carried out the direct called the convention. So, by law, by the provisions of the Electoral Act, assuming that Abure had the powers, to convene the national convention, what happened was also very illegal. But of course, he had no powers, he had no locus, because his tenure had expired, and everything, like I said, he did was illegal. And of course, he knew he wasn't going to be elected. He knew that majority of the party members were not interested in him because his personality had become a problem for the party. And that was why all the guidelines, all the processes, all the procedures that were supposed to be followed preceding the convention proper were ignored. But that's by the way. But like I said, it is clear. When Governor Alex Otti invited him, they were relating very well. He spoke to him like a brother. He even made an offer. Governor Alex Otti had repeatedly made it very clear, and he did tell him, I have no interest. I'm not coming to become the national chairman. Remember, because majority, both TUC and NOC and the rest of them, nobody wanted to hear anything Abure again. So it was a problem. And if you mean well for a party, which is an institution, it's not an individual party, then you should sacrifice your selfish interest, your personal agenda, and say, okay, let us reorganize this party. Let us bring fresh faces, and move the party forward. But the man, he's not interested, was not interested, and he's not interested. And if you look at how they are talking, how they are operating, it's clear that it's all about their own personal ego. It's all about their own economic interest. And they're already looking at 2027, of course, to sell funds and make money, why they are being used to destroy the party. But they forget that if those people that matter leave the party, you won't even get any form, you won't even sell any form, and you won't win any single seat. After the 2023 election, what should have occupied their mind was to align with all the cream of the party, especially those who have something to bring to the table, to say, okay, how do we reorganize the party? How do we reject the party? How do we ensure that the party becomes more powerful to be able to win more elective offices? But they're not interested. So it's very clear that, they're not interested in the party, and they're not interested in moving the party forward. And our position is this. Like I said, it's not about election.
We need to go.
It's not about any individual, whether or Senator Nenadi, Usman, or Senator Darlington, Nwokocha, no other person. It's all about democracy. It's all about, competitiveness.
We need to go,
apply in a democracy. If the Supreme Court of Nigeria, because if the Supreme Court wanted, to stay away from the matter, if they wanted to allow Abure, they would have declined the jurisdiction.
Ferdinand, thank you so much for your time. Ferdinand Ekeoma is the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to Governor Alex Otti. Also, many thanks to you to Marcel Ngogbehei. He is the Director General, Directorate of Mobilization and Integration for the Labour Party. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.